Hello, Flutter developers. Welcome back to the Flutter GetX Masterclass. In this episode, we are diving deep into the world of navigation and routing. We are about to explore how GetX makes navigation a breeze, and we will also introduce the powerful concept of GetX routes. Today, we are going to focus on navigation from the basics to advanced routing with GetX. We will start with the fundamentals of navigation and then transition to GetX routes. So I have already created a brand new project and created a Dart file which is home screen, and it is just a blank scaffold, and I have already called my home screen in my main.dart. So I have just done nothing but added a blank escape hold yet. So let's just begin with the navigation. How can we navigate from one screen to another screen using GetX? So I'll be just adding the body part and I'll be just creating a text button on my screen. So when I click that button, I should move towards a new page. So let's just begin with the body part. I will be just adding a column here. In the column I'll be using the children, and in the children I'll be just calling a text button. So when I click on this text button, I should move to a new page. So in the child part I'll be just adding a text to title my button, which will be a text widget, and it will be go to screen 1. So on the onPress function, I'll be just creating the getX function to navigate from one page to another page. So for that we need uh, another page, so we should move towards that page. So let's just create that page first. So I'll be just copying all the codes from my home screen, and then I'll be just creating a new file, which will be screen1 dot, and I'll be just pasting all the codes from my home screen, and I'll be just changing the name home screen to screen1. So here I'll be just clicking on rename symbol, and I'll be just changing the name to screen1, and here you go, our screen1 class is ready basically. So I'll be just changing the title also to screen 1, and just go back, go back, as simple as it is. So now I'll be just making my this button to middle of the screen, so I'll be just wrapping my this text button with the center widget, and I'll be just saving that, and I'll be just making main axis alignment and main axis alignment dot center. So there you go. Now our button is at the middle of the screen. So now when I click this, I should be redirected to a new page, which is screen 1 basically. So let's just begin with the implementation of navigation. So it is very much simple. GetX has made the navigation very much easier. So I'll be just heading get, and I'll be just importing my getX package. So you need to import it. So you can manually import it, or you can just click on this get, it will automatically import it for you. So I'll be just clicking get, and which will be 2, and I'll be just adding the class name of screen1, which is screen1, and that's it. You are done by creating the navigation code. So now using this you can just move towards the screen 1 page by just clicking this button. So see how easy it is, how GetX has made this navigation process much easier. So I'll be just also showing you the default code, which we can also use that, but when you are using the GetX package, you should also take all the benefits of GetX package what it is providing. So let's just look at the default code which Flutter provides, that is basically the navigator. So I'll be just heading this GetX navigation code, and here you go. This is the default Flutter navigation code, and which will be navigator dot push, and it requires a route which is material page route, and it requires a builder. So let's just provide that builder which requires a context. So we will be just providing our page context, which is screen 1, and here you go. You are done by creating a navigator push method to navigate from one screen to another screen. So I'll be just commenting this basically. So when I click on the go to screen 1, it will just work same it is as our GetX is working, but you see GetX code is in one line, and you the default one is in 3 lines of code. So basically just leave me a comment which one you just prefer or which one you find much easier. Just comment below, let me know which one you find uh, more easier, the GetX one or the default Flutter one. So yeah, now comes the question, how can we just pass a parameter, or how can we pass data from one screen to the another screen? So how can we just send the data from our home screen and get it into our screen 1? So yeah, let's just do that. So I'll be just heading the final field, so from where we can uh, add the text or get the value or the data. So I'll be just adding a string field here. So I'll be just getting a string from my home screen, and we will be just getting that data in our screen 1 data screen 1 screen, and showing that into our screen 1 page. So basically that will be this, and I'll be just adding the final field to my constructor of this page, and there you go, we have just added the constructor, and you will see an header on home screen page which requires um, some data in our screen 1 page basically. So here I will be just commenting this default Flutter navigation code, and I'll be working on my this get navigation. So here you go, now it requires a field which is name, and I'll be passing it here, which will be Paloch dev, and that's it. So now you can get your date this code from, or this data from home screen, which is basically coming from that home screen. So you can now get it into your screen 1. So let's just add it into our title, which will be basically a dollar sign and the curly braces, and it will be a widget dot name, and I'll be just removing the const from here, and that's it. Now when I refresh the screen, so let's just so when I go to screen 1, and you see the title page which is screen 1, and this Baloch div is basically coming from our home screen, where we are providing the name basically. So yeah, we are now getting it from home screen to our screen one page. So that's it for the navigation part. So we will be just moving towards the routes, and how can we just implement the routes in our GetX using the GetX package basically. So I'll be just removing whole of these steps from here, these all the codes from here, and I'll be just coming back to it in here now in my main dot basically. So in my main dot now we need to just remove this home from here, and we will be just using the get pages. So inside this get pages we need to head our all the pages we want to access. So let's just give it a name. So in the name section we need to just provide the / for our uh, initial page. So what will be our initial page? It will be our home screen. So for the initial page we need to just add the / so we don't need to add some words or something in front of that. So we will be just getting that header. So initial page will be just a / so now we will be just adding that context of that page, which will be home screen, and that's it. So we will be just adding our screen one page. You can add your whole the pages inside this get pages. So now we will be just copying this page, and I'll be just removing basically this data from here, and now I'll be also removing this required. So we will be also seeing how can we get or pass data from our routes from one page to another, but later on. So I'll be just showing you guys how can we just implement the routes from our GetX package. So let's just do that, and I'll be just going back to my home screen. So I'll be just auto restarting it basically. So here let's just go back to my home main dot, and I'll be just copying this part, and I'll be just heading my screen one page here. So that's it, we are done by creating the route. So now how can we move from one page to another page by using the routes of GetX? So yeah, that's also very much simple. So we need to just use the get dot named to named, and now we need to just add that name basically what we have added here. So which was screen one. So we need to just paste this to our home screen when we want to move from one page to another, and that's it, you are done. Now when I click this go to screen one, you will be just redirected to screen one. So yeah, let me just refresh this. Yeah, now when I click this, so we will be just redirected to our screen one. So yeah, congratulations, your routes are also configured or implemented by using your GetX package by just simply adding this one line. That's great. So yeah, now how can we just pass an argument to our this two named section? So mm, here comes, it's also very much simple. So now if we want to head or pass data from our home screen to our screen one, so that's also very much simple. So we need to just add arguments here. So in the arguments we need to pass some data. So basically arguments is text dynamic values. So we can just add erase here, so which will be Baluch div. And now that part, how can we just get the data from our home screen to screen 1? So here comes us, just we need to store our arguments in her variable, which was how basically dynamic value. So we can just add a var, so whatever value comes it will just get it. Arguments, so I'll be just adding get arguments here is equal to, now we will be just getting data arguments. We will be using the get package, so I'll be just importing it basically into my screen 1 page, and that's it. I'll be just calling the arguments, and here you go, you have just got the arguments, whatever arguments were coming from our home page. So I'll be just now pasting that arguments in my title side. So how can we do that? I'll be just using the dollar and arguments, and I will just adding get arguments. So I'll be removing this const, and now we will see if we get something or not. So quick fix and unnecessary, so I'll be just removing that, and I'll be just going back to my home screen, and I'll be just refreshing this. And I'll be just clicking go to screen 1, and now say we have got the title, but it is inside the square brackets, so that is the reason. So we will be just adding the so you know that it is a list basically, so we need to add the index. So I'll be just adding the index, so we will be just now getting the value basically. So here you go, which will be index, and it's 0. So basically whenever we add something in our list, it is the list indexes will be started from a 0, and if we had one another element, that will be index 1, and if we had another, that will be index 3. And I'm assuming that you are well familiar with the list of Flutter or the Dart. So, and here you go, now we have got the data, and we have also implemented our routes also. So now let's just we will also be running a little experiment, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. Which navigation method do you find more intuitive, GetX navigation or the default Flutter navigation? Share your opinions in the comments below, but the journey doesn't end here. In the second uh, video, we will eventually into advanced routing with GetX routes. Now, before we continue, remember to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell to stay updated with all upcoming episodes. That's it for the navigation and the routes episode. In the next segment, we will deep dive into uh, GetX utilities, making your app development journey even more exciting. So stay tuned and keep coding with Flutter.